Cato stood alone on a rooftop in Utica, watching the army that had already conquered half the world march toward his city. Everyone around him was already shaking. Grown soldiers, hardened commanders, men who had survived a dozen battles were pale with fear that night. Cato wasn't shaking. And it wasn't because he wasn't afraid of what was coming. It's because he had already lived through it in his mind 100 times before that night. There was a forgotten Roman habit behind that calm. And once you understand it, fear will never be able to ambush you again. Here's what almost nobody tells you about fear. It's not dangerous because of what might happen. It's dangerous because of how unprepared you are for it. Fear thrives on surprise. The moment something stops being a surprise, it loses almost all its power over you. The Stoics knew this 2,000 years before anyone studied it in a lab. They called it premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Every single morning, they would sit quietly and imagine the worst. Losing their wealth, losing their position, losing people they loved, even losing their own life. Not to suffer twice, but to rehearse the moment, so that if it ever actually happened, it would already feel familiar. Think about the last time bad news actually broke you. It probably wasn't the size of the problem that destroyed you. It was how blindsided you were by it. You never saw it coming. And because you never saw it coming, you had no armor ready when it hit. Now stay with me, because this next part is the part most people never learn. And it's the part that actually changes everything. Cato didn't fear death that night in Utica, because he had already asked himself the hardest question weeks before. What if this is how it ends? He sat with that question. He didn't run from it. And by the time the real moment came, it wasn't a stranger walking through his door. It was an old, familiar guest. That's the entire secret. Fear doesn't fear preparation. It fears familiarity. The soldier who has imagined losing the battle 100 times fights differently than the one who only imagined winning. The person who has quietly imagined the breakup, the failure, the loss, walks into life steadier than the person who refuses to think about it at all. This isn't pessimism. This is armor. And there's a difference most people never learn. Pessimism expects the worst and does nothing. This Roman habit expects the worst and prepares anyway. So here's what I want you to try. Tonight or tomorrow morning, sit quietly for 2 minutes and ask yourself one honest question. What's the worst that could actually happen this week? Don't panic about it. Just look at it directly, the way Cato looked at that army on the horizon. And when it happens, if it ever happens, you won't be ambushed. You'll simply nod because you already knew this guest was coming. That was the forgotten habit that killed fear before it started. Not bravery, not luck, just quiet, deliberate preparation, practiced in silence, long before the storm ever arrived. Because that's what it means to raise like Rome, to build your strength in silence, long before the world ever tests it.